Oh, I gotta do it now. Good afternoon. Conference Committee on House Bill 200, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1 will convene. Chair Dela Cruz, if I can introduce the members on the House Bill 200 conference.
Okay.
Okay, so for the House, it's myself as chair, Representatives Bronco, Cullen, Eli, Holt, Iligan, Burt Kobayashi, Martin, Nishimoto, Peruso, Sayama, Tam, Wahlberger, Yamashita, and McDermott as managers.
No, I got it. Okay, for the Senate, it's myself as Chair, Keith Agaran, English, Inouye, Kanuha, Kidani, Moriwaki, Shimbukuro, Taniguchi, Wakai, and Favela.
I'll just say something.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Chair Dela Cruz. This has been a very challenging year, and especially with our shortened session, I think we were both unsure if we could finish and wrap up the budget in a timely basis, but we do understand if we don't finish the budget, it impacts the ability of all the other measures from passing. So I specifically wanted to thank you, Chair Dela Cruz, for working long hours, and thank both the WAM and finance staff for working very hard, even basically every day, long hours, weekends as well. And I know they've been here for several days, and we are very happy that we have now concluded in coming to an agreement on this budget. So my heartfelt appreciation goes out to you, Chair Dela Cruz, and also your CIP Chair, Senator Gil Keith Agaran, and on our side, Representative Kyle Yamashita. I know they work really hard to put the CIP to bed, and all the members on both finance and WAM for your hard work. So with that, if I could turn it back over to you, Senator.
Thank you. And I also like to thank you and your staff and your committee. I mean, I can't say enough about the hard work and the dedication of all your people. And it's really been a very trying and difficult year, but because of your dedication and your leadership with Vin and all of your staff and all the Ways and Means staff, it's pretty extraordinary that we've been able to do this with that limited amount of time, the difficulty of managing the MOE, the additional ARPA funds, and unfortunately not getting accurate information from the departments, which made it a little more difficult. But I really want to thank everyone, the committee members, the vice chair for his commitment in sitting through all the long negotiations, and also to the CIP chairs for their hard work. But thank you. And also I want to thank the Speaker and the Senate President for their bold and courageous leadership and their moral support.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Go ahead, Senator.
Okay, so we'll begin with highlights from the CD1. Let's begin with Department of Agriculture. Well, we have $6,418 to transition the Agricultural Loan Division to general funds. $3,619,378 to transition programs funded by the Agricultural Development and Food Security Special Fund to general funds. $4,024,637 in general fund savings from converting 68 positions for the Plant Industry Division to special funds. $491,278 to transition Agribusiness Development Corporation personnel to general funds. $96,979 in special funds to support the non-agricultural park program. $25,000 for the Queen Bee program. and 100,000 in the American Rescue Plan funds for fiscal year 22 for floriculture and ornamental industries.
Thank you. For the Department of Accounting and General Services, commission with the State Foundation of Culture and the Arts will be playing a major role this year, and we will be moving King Kamehameha Celebration Commission into the Foundation on Culture and the Arts. In addition to that, we will also be moving the Bishop Museum funding and also Iolani Palace. Both Bishop Museum and Iolani Palace had significant amount of budget shortfalls, only because during this time they have not been able to receive visitors, and because of that they had significant amount of revenue shortfall. So this budget provides $626,000 in the ARPA funds for Bishop Museum, and also $720,000 in fiscal year 23 and $240,000 in fiscal year 22, and then $240,000 in 23 out of the ARPA funds for Iolani Palace. In addition to that, this budget will be consolidating Office of Enterprise Technology Services program for efficiency and resource alignment. $836,550 in special funds and 5 positions will be allocated for IT modernization efforts. $4.4 million in fiscal year 22 and $1 million in fiscal year 23 out of ARPA funds for the continued operation and structural engineering assessment for the Aloha Stadium. $548,412 to restore funding for critical accounting division positions. $153,967 to restore 1.5 positions and funding for the Office of Information Practices. $500,000 for fiscal year 22 in federal funds for a voting system contract. $302,925 to restore funding for 8 Office of Elections positions. $80,000 for fiscal year 22 and $84,000 for fiscal year 23 out of ARPA funds for past performance database. And lastly, $550,000 in ARPA funds to supplement state risk management and insurance program.
For the Department of the Attorney General, $2,380,000 to restore sex assault treatment purchase of service contracts to continue 24/7 stabilization, information and referral services, case management, counseling services, and late night services. $870,000 and 9 positions to establish the complex litigation fraud and compliance unit, which will focus on civil and criminal cases and fraud and ethics violations within government. $531,325 to change the means of financing for the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit to investigate and prosecute Medicaid fraud and patient abuse or neglect in healthcare facilities or board and care facilities. $400,000 reduction for the automated fingerprint information system yearly loan payments.
Thank you. For Department of Budget and Finance, this is for the repayment of working capital loan. So the amount will be $313,680,042 for that purpose. In addition, for debt service, $68,059,448 in fiscal year 22 and $89,501,020 in fiscal year 23.
Thank you. For the Department of Business, Economic Development, and Tourism, consolidate the Land Use Commission, the Office of Environmental Quality Control, and the Office of Planning to create the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development. Consolidate personnel from the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations Research and Statistics Office and the Hawaii Tourism Authority Tourism Research Office into Research and Economics Analysis Division to centralize state research functions. $750,000 for the Film and Creative Industries Special Fund. $50,000 in ARPA funds for creative lab programs, $500,000 in special funds for the Hawaii State Energy Office to leverage federal grants, $187,908 to restore the executive director and executive secretary for the Hawaii Technology Development Corporation, $800,000 in revolving funds to restore funding for the executive director and 3 positions for the Hawaii Community Development Authority, $50,000 for GIS enhancement programs, $500,000 in special funds for the Hawaii State Energy Office. Oh, let's repeat. And $4 million in ARPA funds for economic planning and research.
Thank you. For Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs, $122,093 for staff attorney to address increased consumer fraud cases due to COVID-19 pandemic. $700,000 for fiscal year 22 and $1,050,000 for fiscal year 23 for repairs to the King Kalakaua building. $3.5 million for fiscal year 22 and $500,000 for fiscal year 23 for upgrades to critical business registration system. $700,000 for fiscal year 22 and $1,050,000 for fiscal year 23 to increase ceiling for the compliance resolution fund.
Thank you. For the Department of Defense, $130,500 and 3 general laborer positions for the Veteran Cemetery, $612,797 in general funds to retain the Hilo Youth Challenge Academy, $143,896 in general funds to restore salaries to 3 positions at the Veteran Cemetery, including the Cemetery Operations Manager and Veterans Services Counselor, $194,050 in general funds for the Veteran Cemetery for vault liners and travel funds for counseling services to veterans, $250,000 in general funds for siren maintenance, and we are creating new program IDs for the Hawaii Army and Air National Guard and the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency.
Thank you. For Department of Education, $2,594,198 for early college program, which offers over 400 classes for 43 high schools statewide. Additional $2,482,554 for the Hawaii Keiki program, promoting healthy keiki and reducing amount of absences statewide. $1,026,757,623 in general fund for school-based budgeting funding for classrooms. $401,006,367 in general funds for special education. $7,073,037 in general funds for early learning program. $240,000 for general funds to be recurring for radio frequency technology equipment for public libraries. Transfers 159 positions and around $11.6 million from State Administration Office of Information Technology Services to school support. $325,241 for the Challenger Center, which has been moved from DBED Aerospace. $50,000 for Career and Technical Education Office Assistance Program. Around $4.4 million to restore defunded positions from Act 9 to 2020 for special education. $468,424 for teacher improvement services. $3 million for fiscal year 22 and $6 million for fiscal year 23 to expand alternative learning programs. $400,000 for trauma-informed care services. $249,239 for 7 permanent positions for early learning teachers. Transfer the Office of Information Technology Services to program for school support. Transfer the Office of Strategic Innovation and Performance from general funds to ESSER funds.
Thank you. For the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, $901,292 to restore 14 positions.
Okay, thank you. Department of Human Resources Development, $307,775 in ARPA funds for 22, and $635,350 for workers' compensation claims. $275,000 for ARPA funds for fiscal year 22 for unemployment insurance payments.
Thank you. For the Department of Human Services, $500,000 for fiscal year 22 in ARPA funds for additional funding for rent supplement program for low-income families. $5,400,000 in ARPA funds for fiscal year 22 for additional funding for general assisted payments for temporarily disabled individuals to maintain their current level of benefits. $14,300,000 in ARPA funds for continued homeless services, including the Housing First program, the Rapid Rehousing program, the Homeless Outreach Services and Civil Legal Services, and the Stored Property and Debris Removal Service. $1,739,179 to restore 57 Child Protective Services positions. $31,035,000 for fiscal year 22 and 23 in ARPA funds for cash support for child care.
Thank you. For Department of Health, $681,202 in ARPA funds for perinatal support services. Around $1.7 million for fiscal year 22 and $702,729 in fiscal year 23 in ARPA funds for perinatal support and family planning services. Around $4.6 million in general funds and around $10.2 million in federal funds for HIV prevention and care services. $3.9 million, about $3.9 million in general funds for tuberculosis branch to maintain prevention services. Around $4.3 million in general funds for staffing and around $6.1 million in ARPA funds for operating expenses for the new forensic building at Hawaii State Hospital. Around $19.7 million in general funds and around $2.6 million in federal funds for early intervention services. $469,262 in general funds for Office of Language Access, retaining the office as a standalone program within Department of Health. $475,769 in general funds for state health planning and development agencies, retaining office as a standalone program within Department of Health. Around $4.3 million for fiscal year 22 and 23 for Hawaii State Hospital's personal services. $3.2 million for fiscal year 22 and 23 for developmental disabilities. $1.5 million in ARPA funds for fiscal year 22 for Office of Aging for purchase of services for senior centers.
Thank you. For the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, $700,252,931 in fiscal year 2022 and $5,091,175 in fiscal year 23 in ARPA funds to repay the loan principal and interest of unemployment insurance program. $2,082,490 in fiscal years 22 and 23 to restore Office of Community Services, and $3,110,000 in ARPA funds for the Disability Compensation Division modernization.
For Department of Land and Natural Resources, $2 million in boating special funds for harbor facilities repair and maintenance. Around $1.4 million for 30 new conservation and resource enforcement officers statewide. Around $1.6 million to restore the Youth Conservation Corps program to provide youth with environmental stewardship opportunities. $750,000 for Bureau of Conveyances to digitize and preserve recorded land documents and maps. $875,000 for fiscal year 22 in ARPA funds for Rapid Ohia Death Research Outreach and Response. $1 million for fiscal year 22 in ARPA funds for repairs to sea urchin hatchery used to raise sea urchins to control invasive algae. $866,315 for fiscal year 22 and around $2.8 million for fiscal year 23 ceiling increase for land conservation fund. 8.5 permanent positions for engineers for the water and land development. Around $3.1 million in general funds for FY22 for the Native Resources and Fire Protection Program. Around $2.5 million in American Rescue Funds to Conservation and Resources Enforcement, and $2 million ceiling increase for the Boating Special Fund for ocean-based recreation.
Thank you. For the Department of Public Safety, $500,000 retained for re-entry contract services, which supports individuals who are rejoining the community. $1,376,000 for hepatitis C treatments. $27,468,151 of general funds in the healthcare division. $9,095,579 to restore funding for defunded positions. $676,222 of general funds for the Crime Victim Compensation Commission, the first time the state has assisted with funds since 2003.
Thank you. For Department of Taxation, $99,756 for the establishment of the new Quality Control Office for supporting services. Around $3 million in ARPA funds for the tax system modernization, post-warranty maintenance, professional services, and document imaging. And $30,000 for Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Federal Grant.
Thank you. For the University of Hawaii, $27,326,848 for fiscal year 22 and $32,926,484 for fiscal year 23 in general funds to restore reductions to the University of Hawaii budget. $1 million in ARPA funds to offset lost revenue at the Waikiki Aquarium. $3,129,000 of ARPA funds and general funds in each fiscal year for the Hawaii Promise Program. $1.2 million for the American Rescue Plan funds for UHERO for economic analysis. Create new program ID for UH Cancer Center. $3,098,055 for the UH Cancer Center. $485,376 for 7 permanent positions for UH system-wide support to consolidate human resource officers. $2,200,000 for UH system-wide support, and $164,394 and 2 permanent positions for computer science pathways at UH West Oahu.
This is not an exhaustive list of everything in the budget. We just simply picked out the highlights. Our apologies to the members that we have not been able to provide a detailed document showing where the agrees and disagrees were and where the agreements are, but we did provide the comparison sheets so that you can compare the House and the Senate position. But those will be provided as soon as the staff have the time to clean up some of the details. And with that, should we turn it over to CIP?
I think he's going to defer to you.
Well, I think Representative Yamashita has a summary of what we did.
Yeah. First of all, Chair, I'd like to thank both money chairs for the opportunity to work on this budget again this year, as well as Vice Chair and the rest of the House committee that gave a lot of input into what the House position would be. I'd like to thank Senator Agaran for another great year. I think we worked well together this year again. I'd like to thank Chair, your staff, Raleigh Fujisaki, as well as my staff, Kathy, and from your office, Senator Agaran, Danielle and Robert, for all their hard work. We spent, it went fairly well. I think we had like 5-6 meetings or whatever it was. And it went fairly...
That's all?
Yeah. Well, some of them were long. And it went fairly well. So, with that, if you want to say some words, and then I'll go over some of the highlights. Senator?
No, I just want to echo the thanks that you have for the hard work of the staff. I think they probably spent more time than they needed to. I think when we showed up to actually talk, I think it made it a lot easier to get through the priorities of the House and the Senate. And let me thank you for agreeing to so many of the Senate's priorities. And I hope that we were able to provide the House with the same kind of deference and respect.
Yeah, thank you. Looking at both the House and Senate versions, we did agree to a lot of the Senate priorities, but we did feel that there was merit, and so that's why we moved on a lot of them.
Well, there's always merit.
Yeah, as well as you would a lot of ours, so we appreciate that. In general, the capital improvement budget for this year in general obligation bonds in the first year, FY22, was $976.796 million, and in FY23, $296.105, totaling approximately $1.213 billion. As far as the American ARPA funds for CIP in this budget, it totaled about $110.109 million. In all means of financing in FY22, we had $7.8 billion, and FY23 $931.231 million, totaling $2.693 billion over the biennium. The big numbers was for the Department of Agriculture. We had $33.1 million for all of the department. The big themes, I think, for us was for broadband connectivity, we appropriated $46.3 million, which included $14.8 million for public schools, $25 million for public libraries, which we felt had a far reach throughout our community, and $5 million for DOE's OITS. In heat abatement, we spent we appropriated $28.7 million. Of that, 17.9 was for public schools, 6 million was for public libraries, and 4.7 was for public health facilities. Housing is always a big issue, so this budget reflects $172.25 billion for expansion of affordable housing and development of infrastructure statewide. Of that, 20 million was infused to DERF, 25 million was infused into the rental housing revolving fund, $40 million for the senior housing and public housing facilities, $2 million for the TOD plan, and the other big one would be for the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. We funded $78 million. Of that, $50 million was for lot development, $10 million for repair and maintenance, $18 million for infrastructure and expansion. Other major infrastructure projects, we appropriated $1.7 billion for rehabilitation, improvement, modernization, and maintenance of state facilities, including addressing deferred maintenance at facilities statewide. Of that, airports was $355 million, harbors was $219 million, and we had also a category for bridges, $244 million for bridges. There was about $19.4 million for guardrails, shoulder lanes, and other safety requirements that are needed throughout the state. And in general, Chair, that's the big themes for CIP.
Okay, thank you. So are we ready to vote?
Yeah, I just want to thank the subject matter chairs of both the House and the Senate as well, because their input was invaluable and so was their hard work. But really a big mahalo to the staff. You guys really worked so hard these past couple months, and it hasn't gone unnoticed, so thank you very much. Some people, when you talk about sparing blood, sweat, and tears, some had shed blood, more blood. Some, I guess, either made us sweat or we made other people sweat, and some people definitely shed some tears. So thank you for all your hard work.
You can take next week, Saturday off.
Half day.
Okay, and we're ready to vote. For House Bill 200, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1, the recommendation of the House and Senate conference members is to pass with amendments in this as described. For the House, it's myself, Luke votes aye, Representative Bronco.
Can't tell. You see him?
Let me see Representative Bronco. I'm gonna come back to Representative Bronco so I can give him
Some
a chance
time.
to vote. Okay, can they do Kanalua? Silent Kanalua? Okay, Representative Cullen,
Aye.
Representative Eli,
Aye.
okay, Representative Holt,
I see him.
Aye.
Representative Iligan,
Aye.
Representative Burkobayashi,
Aye.
Representative Martin, I see her
Oh, yeah.
thing, but I
Her
don't know.
screen.
Okay, I'm gonna come back, give her one chance to vote while we're here. Representative Nishimoto,
Aye.
Representative Peruso,
Aye.
Representative Sayama,
Aye.
Representative Tam,
Aye.
Representative Wildberger,
Aye.
Representative Yamashita,
Aye.
Representative McDermott. I don't see him either. Okay, I'm gonna just go one more time. Representative Bronco. Okay, Representative Bronco is excused. Representative Martin is excused. And then Representative McDermott is excused. May I take the vote for the Senate?
Please.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Aye.
Senator Agaran. Keith Agaran.
Let me unmute, okay, yes.
Senator English.
Aye.
Senator Inoy.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Kidani.
Aye.
Senator Moriwaki.
Aye.
Senator Shimabukuro.
Aye.
Senator Taniguchi.
Aye.
Senator Wakai.
Yes.
Senator Favela.
Yes.
Thank you, members. We have a conference draft and a bill. Thank you. Like this. And then with that, if we can move on to House Bill 53, Senate Draft 1 relating to state bonds. This is the bond debt bill. For the House, it is myself as chair, Representative Cullen and McDermott as members.
And
For,
for the Senate, it's myself as chair, Senators Kanuha, Wakai, and Favela as the managers.
okay, I think with this, we have a conference draft, just inserting what the good work of Senator Keith Agaran and Representative Yamashita, so we will reflect that. So if that's okay, we'll take the vote.
Sure.
So for the House, it's myself as chair, I, Representative Cullen,
Aye.
Representative McDermott is excused. May I take the vote for the Senate?
Yes, please.
Senator Chair Keith Agaran,
Yes.
Senator Kanuha,
Aye.
Senator Wakai,
Yes.
Senator Favela.
Yes.
Thank you, and we have a bill. Thank you. This hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Conference Committee for House Bill 1298 and 1299 is in order. For House Bill 1298, this is relating to state funds. For the House, it's myself as chair, Representatives Cullen and McDermott as conferees.
Thank you. For the Senate, it's myself as chair, Kanuha, Keith Agaran, Favela as conferees.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Dela Cruz, our staff and us, we work pretty diligently in both finalizing House Bill 1298 and 1299. So we wanted to thank again the staff working with the departments, and also thank the departments for their cooperation in providing the release of some of the special fund money into general fund. So I think we have an agreement for House Bill 1298, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1, in the amount of around $100 million for transfer into general funds. So with that, if I could,
Just thank the staff for all their hard work.
if I could take the vote. For the House, for House Bill 1298, it's myself, vote aye. Representative Cullen.
Aye.
Representative McDermott is excused. May I take the vote for the Senate?
Please.
Chair Dela Cruz.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Keith Agaran.
Yes.
Senator Favela.
Yes.
Thank you very much. If we can move on to House Bill 1299, House Draft 1, Senate Draft 1. This is relating to non-general funds. For the House, it's myself as chair, Representatives Cullen and McDermott as conferees. For the Senate.
Senate, myself as chair, Kanuha, Keith Agaran as conferee.
Okay, so this is the corresponding repeal of certain non-general funds. So with that, we have an agreed conference draft. May I take the vote?
Please.
Okay, so for the House, it's myself, vote aye. Representative Cullen.
Aye.
Representative McDermott is excused. May I take the vote for the Senate?
Please.
Senator Chair Dela Cruz.
Aye.
Senator Kanuha.
Aye.
Senator Keith Agaran.
Yes.
Okay, with that, this conference committee is adjourned.
Thank you.